got an email today. This morning I woke up and somebody talking about their inventory, and it's like, you're dead. I don't want to say this to you, but you're dead. You've lost Q4 already without even starting, because you never July we should be planning and going back to our manufacturers, especially in China. Hey everyone, it's Norm Farrar, aka the Beard Guy here, and welcome to another Lunch with Norm, the e-commerce and Amazon FBA podcast. Today, we're going to be discussing how Amazon sellers can master Q4 with AI. We're going to be discussing the ways you should be preparing for Q4 this year, the best ways to increase your sales, and what our guest is doing to implement AI into their Amazon business. Okay, everybody, welcome to another Lunch with Norm, the e-commerce and Amazon FBA podcast. What the heck was that? All right, that's different. Today we're going to be discussing how Amazon sellers can master Q4 with AI. Our guest is a seven-figure Amazon seller and the CEO of Amazing at Home e-commerce consulting. Not only is she a wealth of knowledge in the product development, sourcing, marketing, and sales department, but she's also co-founded a the only multi-category trade show in Latin America called evolatam.com, or that's the website at least. Anyway, she coaches entrepreneurs around the globe and through virtual coaching and hosts in-person events. And you've seen her everywhere. She speaks everywhere. And really no need for an introduction, although she's awesome. That's what I can say. She's a good friend. And we're going to be talking to Amy Weiss. But before we get to Amy, let's have a word from our sponsor. This episode of Lunch with Norm is sponsored by VAA Philippines. Looking for a high-quality virtual assistant for your business? With the rigorous screening, intensive Amazon and Walmart training, and ongoing professional development, get the peace of mind with skilled and motivated virtual assistants for a long-term working relationship. Hire through VAA today, and now let's get back to the show. Let's see, where is Amy? Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
I feel like I keep just missing you. I usually see you all the time traveling around, and yep. I feel like we're like ships passing in the night.
In the sea. It's true. There's just times like, what's happening right now, because there's so many events.
Yeah.
There's so many. Yeah. So, right now I was supposed to be at an event. You were too. And it was canceled like last Friday, and we were supposed to start it on Monday. And so my buddy, who was supposed to be speaking there, just said, "Hey, you want to go to Austin? There's an event there." And okay. And I guess you're over at Accelerate.
I am not. No, I'm home right now. So my daughter's 14th birthday is this week, and I played that, baby, I really want to go. Amazon is putting on a conference. I've never been to an Amazon put on conference before. Yeah. Do I have your permission? We're celebrating your birthday this weekend. Can I go? And so I played that card already. I can't play that card again. And this is her golden birthday, because her birthday is September 14th. So this is her golden birthday. I really can't play that card right now, nor do I want to, right? So I'm letting, all of my friends at Amazon Accelerate, they're taking notes. It's awesome. I'm in Amazon Service Provider Network. A partner of Amazon for that. So, it's been wonderful being a part of, being an insider with Amazon. But this one, I had to sit out.
Oh, well, there's going to be others, and there's never going to be another 14th birthday.
That's right.
So that's great. I'm just curious, before we get into the topic today, is this your daughter that went to India with you just recently?
Yes.
Wow, extra special. Mm-hmm. There we go. So, okay, well, let's get into this thing called AI. so many people, talking about it. It's such a broad term. It's been around forever. But let's just get into preparing for Q4. And I don't even know if I want to start on AI. Let's just talk about how should sellers be preparing for Q4.
I think AI, of course, when Kelsey mentioned we were talking about AI today, I said, oh, really? You want me to talk about AI?
Do you know
Oh,
anything about AI?
I don't think I'd like to talk about AI. It's not really my thing. I haven't been speaking about it at all lately. I prefer to skip it if possible. Just kidding. You guys, if you know anything about me, you know that I love AI and I'm always posting about it. And, it's wonderful. The great thing about AI is it makes everything easier and better, right? So, so I love that we're talking about Q4 prep. I think Q4 prep is so important, and we should talk about the fundamentals of how do we prepare for Q4 and what kind of things should we be thinking about. But then also we can talk about how can we use AI in some of these ways to just enhance that and make it much easier than it was for us in previous Q4s, right? Man, AI is moving so fast. It's happening so fast that it wasn't really here. It was here last Q4, but it wasn't like it is now, right? So yeah, prep for Q4. So, every year I host a Q4 Mastery Summit. And of course, Norm and Kelsey are speaking this year at our upcoming Q4 Mastery Summit. And the reason that I do these Q4 summits is because, most of our conferences and stuff, we talk about advertising, we talk about listing optimization, we talk about inventory management, we talk about hacks, all the things. We talk about influencers, all that stuff, external traffic. But when it comes to Q4, we need to be preparing specifically for Q4. So we need to be looking at, for listing optimization, we need to be thinking about, okay, well, what are my niche of customers expecting to see on my listing during Q4, during the holiday shopping season? Is there something that I need to change? Are there new keywords that I need to start ranking for now? Are there images that I should switch out that would more connect with my customers? Are there some tiered promotions that I want to set up where I'm cross-selling different products and really adding value stacks for my customers? So the reason we do these Q4 Mastery Summits is so that every single area that we cover in every other summit, every single one of those areas can be covered specifically for Q4. So we talked about listing optimization. What about inventory management?
That's a big one, Amy. I just got an email today. This morning I woke up and somebody talking about their inventory, and it's like, you're dead. I don't want to say this to you, but you're dead. You've lost Q4 already without even starting, because you never July we should be planning and going back to our manufacturers, especially in China. But I sorry to interrupt, but it just happened this morning, and I can tell you from experience, like Afalabi, Afalabi.
Yes.
He'll always say, my favorite expression is a leopard never changes their spots. And it's the same people every year that I'll hear this happen to, because they wait to the last minute and the sales aren't that great right now, or it's plateaued, and then October hits. And you're doing like 80% of your sales October for some brands, and they just run out of inventory and you're done.
Yeah, and we have to plan for that, because Amazon keeps making changes too, right? So now we have this new Amazon warehouse where you can bid for extra storage space, and like you get a refund if you sell through. And we actually ran the numbers. We thought, oh, well, this seems okay. We were looking at getting out of our own warehouse, and we ran the numbers, and man, the fees are hidden. Hidden. I'm not saying it's bad to go with, Amazon warehouse if that works for you, but I'm saying, guys, we need to think about it. We really need to be thinking about what are our options, what has changed since last Q4. And if you're going to be running stack promotions, stuff like that, which we'll talk about too, we're going to talk about advertising, all the things that we need to be preparing for. We need to also prepare for that inventory to be there. And if we're limited now to what we can send to Amazon, and like we have been in previous years, but now they have different rules, right? We really need to be thinking about this, running our numbers ahead of time, working with our suppliers, just, getting things ready, because this is going to, we always say this, it's going to be the biggest Q4 yet. It's going to be the biggest Q4 yet, guys. It's the writing's on the wall, like people think, oh, well, the economy, there's a recession. It's a correction. It's not a recession. It's a correction. And if we look at history, we can see that, that these corrections happen every once in a while in the financial market. So that's fine. We're going to recover from this correction and things are going to pick up again. And, we need to be thinking about that and be prepared for that for sure.
We always talk about this, but perceived value. And I'm a big person on perception. And what we've seen with one of the products is a high-end dog bed, way more expensive, 3 times more expensive than the regular dog bed, the average dog bed on Amazon. People with money, especially in the pet side, people with money will always have money. Like if they get for some reason something happens, well, there'll be a whole bunch of other people with money, and that top end, it just never dips. But you have to have the perceived value to get there.
And Fido's getting his dog bed for sure.
Absolutely. And Dallas.
It doesn't, yeah, and Dallas. It doesn't matter if when it comes to people's pets, it doesn't matter if they don't have a bed, but their pet will have a bed. So I think all of us pet sellers, product sellers have noticed that. I'm in the cat market, and it's the same thing. Like, my sales don't tend to dip. They just kind of stay steady, and they've grown over the years, which I'm very grateful for. But yeah, so we need to think about that. And as you mentioned, Norm, perceived value. So a lot of people, I saw a post yesterday in one of the Facebook groups, and someone said, I'm not sure what to do with this product. I've been selling it for a while, and, at first it was really good. There was only me and a couple of other competitors. And now, the market has really changed, and there's a lot of competitors, and everybody's competing on this $10 price point. And she said, what should I do? Should I give up on this product, or should I, take a different look at it? And my response was, you should learn from this, right? Number one, did you differentiate in a way that allows you to control your price? Or did you just differentiate like everybody else did, something really minor that the customer doesn't really care about, and now you're stuck in a price war to the bottom? Or number two, did you, are you able to come up with a new, instead of just rolling over, and my friend Aaron Cordovas always talks about this too, instead of just rolling over and saying, admitting defeat, right? What is something you could do? You already have the listing. You already have the rank. Couldn't you introduce a new variation of this product that's got a better differentiation where you can control the price, right? And use that traction that you've already gained and you've already paid for, right? Don't just roll over to your competitors. Come back swinging and come out there and go, what could I introduce? So if you're in that position, what could you introduce for Q4 that would be absolutely incredible and would drive sales to your listings? Like, be really thinking about that. And we could use AI to be thinking about those ways where we could differentiate, where it could matter to the customer. And I can give some examples of that if you'd like.
Let's do it. Yeah, let's get into it.
So, honestly, Norm talked about perceived value, right? So sometimes just changing up your packaging for the season can give it a whole new look. Even if it's the same product, you could change up the packaging. You could make it holiday gift box, if your product is giftable like that, right? You could change up the packaging and show that right on your main image. And to do packaging with AI is actually really easy. What I do is I go first into ChatGPT and I will feed in different information. So for example, I had a client that was making chocolates and he's got a really famous, chocolate factory in New York. And he came to me and he said, Amy, I want to compete with Godiva. They're doing this little 4-pack of chocolates, right? It's beautiful. It's awesome. And my margins would be better if I could just sell 4 chocolates instead of, huge packs of chocolates, right? And so he's like, what can I do to compete, And I looked at his packaging and it's basically just white with some gold embossing of his logo, right? Nothing super special, right? To be able to compete with Godiva. So I said to myself, okay, well, what little boxes do women get that they get pretty excited about? And that would be like a Tiffany box, right? It's iconic when you get one of those little
First thing
boxes.
I thought about.
Yes, was your first?
Yeah.
Was Tiffany? Yes,
Yep.
Exactly. If you get a Tiffany box as a woman, you're like, maybe even as a man, I don't know. But, but I mean, it's really, really special. So what did I do? I went into ChatGPT and I said, hi, I own this company and I sell chocolates and Godiva, a big brand, a huge competitor, I want to compete with them. They're doing this. And I kind of described it. And I said, I want to design a box that was inspired by the Tiffany box, the Tiffany brand, this little iconic blue box that they get. And I said, think of a new design for a chocolate box that's inspired by Tiffany and describe it in great detail. And I did that, and ChatGPT came back with an amazing description. Mm-hmm. And I put that into Midjourney, simply copied and pasted that output into Midjourney, which is an AI image generation tool that works inside of a Discord server. And the results were breathtaking, awesome. And I've done this with multiple products. So let's say, for example, I'll give you another example. So that's packaging. That's how you can up your packaging game, right? Yep. But let's say you want to come up with a different variation of your product. You're in the price war to the bottom and you're like, what do I do, right? So I'll use an example. I was helping a client get into clutch purses because, clutch purses are very popular, but we need something new and different because there's some big brands that you're competing with. You're competing with the Chanels and the Michael Kors and all of that, right? So I took a huge article about what's trending in leather fashion for 2023. It was a huge article. It had so much information. There's no way me as a human could understand that and apply it and, come up with ideas. So what I did is I fed the whole article into ChatGPT. At that time, I used a link reader and I said, okay, here's the deal. The same thing. I want to get into creating these clutch purses. I'm this type of brand. I sell on these channels. Can you help me come up with 5 trending designs based on this article here that are going to be something new and different and completely, in demand for this Q4 season, right? And I asked it to come up with 5 different designs and again, describe it in great detail. And again, I just copied and pasted. This time I did both in Adobe as well as Adobe Firefly as well as Midjourney. And Adobe Firefly actually came up with even better designs, more accurate for a longer prompt than Midjourney. Midjourney is better with shorter prompts. So you may want to try both. But the designs were incredible. And sure enough, I just got back from India and I was sourcing there and checking out some really awesome suppliers. And there was a really great supplier of bags. And some of the stuff that they produced was exactly on trend with what I had designed with AI. And, I asked them I showed them the designs and asked them about it. And they said, oh, wow, yeah, actually, we have this recycled leather and we can print anything on it. And, it was really, really awesome. So those are two examples of how you can use AI to up your product game. We can use it across all of our other areas like PPC and stuff like that. And we can get into that, listing optimization, of course. But those are some ideas where you might be able to come up with ideas much quicker and much more accurately than just trying to think of an idea on your own, right?
Sometimes what I'll do is I'll download my category list. Okay, so I'll just get my catalog list, and then I'll use Code Interpreter. I think they call it advanced analytics right now. And I'll run it through. I'll ask it for tab formation. Then once they pump out that PDF, I'll re-upload it and I'll ask it to provide keywords. And all of a sudden, you're taking this. It's table format. It's perfect, so you can read. You know how it's all CSV files, right? So It's hard to read. But if you get a nice PDF and it gives you everything lined up in the tab, like in a table format, it imports the images. You can actually change. If you do this with Code Interpreter, you can actually change the images. And I would have normally gone to Midjourney, but you could change. Now you can't do huge effects with it, but you can change them. But what I really like about it is I can upload my competitors and I can get it to give me some additional keywords that are in the back end, because it gives you everything. Yeah. It gives you your back end keywords, everything that you're indexing for, and you can ask to provide you with even more information. And that's one of the things that we like to do, just to see what we can bring out of it. And it's so simple. So I mean, if you're not using Code Interpreter, any of the listeners, and if you're in ChatGPT and you have ChatGPT Plus, go to settings and turn it on. It's probably the best feature out there, except for some of the plugins. Like for me, it's Zapier saves. It is a huge save, like a time saver.
Yes.
But one of the other things, Amy, have you ever done this? Have you ever asked ChatGPT that you've got a half hour or an hour a day, you want to learn something over an hour? It could be PPC, it could be anything. And could you create a course curriculum?
Yep, I do that with my Spanish.
Isn't that crazy?
Teaches me Spanish. Yes.
I did that with Python. And
it
like, I know nothing about Python, but I wanted to learn how to write code. And every day I got a 30-minute, or it's an hour-long session, and it's over 3 months. I graduated in 3 months, and it's just something that ChatGPT did for me. But this is stuff that you can do like outside of it. And
yeah.
I know I got to get to my sponsor at the end of actually I'm over the time, but I love, and maybe we'll come back on this, other LLMs like Claude. And that's become probably equal to or better my go-to than ChatGPT.
Yes.
But anyways, we'll leave it on that.
Sounds good.
We're at the bottom of the hour. And by the way, if Marsha Reese, I just saw Tony mention Marsha Reese. Marsha, your name came up at dinner last night. I was sitting beside Scott Cunningham. And anyways, he brought up your name. So just coincidentally, I see you on the podcast today. Anyway, we have a really great giveaway today from Amy. If this is the first time, we've got a bunch of people listening for the first time. I can see it right now. We have this thing called the Wheel of Kelsey, where our guest provides a giveaway. And it's a good one. It's a great one today. If you're interested, hashtag Wheel of Kelsey, or tag 2 people, you get a second entry. Amy, what are you giving away?
I am giving away an all-access pass to our Q4 Mastery Summit. And we're also going to give away some live access passes today as well.
And what was that last part?
So we're going to give away an all access pass
Yes.
to the Q4 Mastery Summit. And we're also going to give away some live access passes as well today.
There we go. Perfect. All right. So if you're interested, just hashtag Wheel of Kelsey. Tag 2 people. You'll get a second entry. Now, Kelsey, finger on the pulse. Hit that button. Let's go.
This episode of Lunch with Norm is sponsored by SureGo Marketing. Ready to take your brand to the next level on TikTok and Instagram? SureGo Marketing specializes in helping entrepreneurs and coaches build profitable brands on TikTok and Instagram, and in less than 90 days. With SureGo Marketing, you can build your brand, create incredible video content, and increase leads without spending a single dime on ad spend. Visit SureGoMarketing.com today and elevate your brand. Now, let's get back to the show.
Okay, so a lot of the times, you probably hear this, that AI, so many people say AI, ChatGPT, AI, ChatGPT, and they don't consider any other LLMs or any other APIs that might be running off of ChatGPT or other models. Have you been experimenting or playing around with any of them?
Yes, I use Bing. I use Google
Bard.
Bard. Thank you. I said Bing and then Bard just like slipped my mind. And I also use Claude. I also use Firefly. Pretty much, and there's also so many other. There's like a traveling one that I use, like for travels. There's like Ellie AI for email. I love. There's another one called I think it's Write Sonic. And then I've got a ton of like Google Chrome plugins, like the file uploader for ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And then I also use another Google Chrome plugin called Voice In, which allows me to chat with my voice with any AI or anything across the internet, which is helpful because then I don't have to type everything in. So yeah, I pretty much, if it's out there, I'm playing around with it and doing something with it. There's some 3D generation tools as well that I've played around with. But I think my cores, my go-tos are pretty much Bard, Claude, ChatGPT, and then Firefly and Midjourney. Like those are my like daily, that's what I'm using every day.
Right, and those are all LLM models. They're not APIs tied into, well ChatGPT. Sorry, the illustration ones are. But anyways, yeah, that's great. And there's another one. I know Steve Wiedemann came on, and he gave us 2 that are really cool. One is Genie, and the other one is, Kelsey, am I going to get this right? Is it Summarize ChatGPT? And that it summarizes all, like it'll go to Bard, Bing, like all of them, and it'll just summarize each one. So because each one is different, the output that you'll get. So Kelsey, if you could just put that in there, that would be fantastic.
And another one that I use all the time, like daily, is Fathom. So Fathom works with Zoom, and it records every meeting that I have. It works with Zoom and Google Meet, and it's free. And it records every meeting and transcribes it and gives an AI summary. And often when I'm doing sessions like this, if I'm interviewing someone, I'll just turn on my Fathom, and then I will utilize that script, that summary inside of ChatGPT. I'll throw it in there and say, hey, here's a summary of our conversation. Here's the person, here's their bio. Write me up a really great social media post, write me up a blog post about this. And it's like so wonderful to utilize those summarized conversations that you have. It used to be we would take Otter's output or whatever, and then, we'd be like writing a blog about it. Well, now you can combine those transcriptions with the use of like ChatGPT or another NLP model, right? That's going to easily turn that data into something that is super useful for you. The other thing I use all the time for videos is Pictory.ai. It automatically, when you pull a video in, so if we pulled in this video, for example, after we are done recording it, we can pull it in, it'll automatically transcribe it. And then you can edit the video into reels or whatever with text. So let's say, Norm says something really cool and I just want to put that into a reel. I literally can just highlight that and click add to highlights, and it'll bring that over into the video. And then I can add in captions, really great looking captions or whatever. I can change the format to TikTok or whatever I want to do, and then automatically export it. Also, what Pictory does is you could take your blogs, you can take any web link and turn it into a video. So I take my blogs and I turn them into YouTube videos to get more traction on my YouTube videos. So I did one about like how to file safety claims for Amazon sellers. And what Pictory does is it pulls from that blog, it creates a script automatically, and then it'll put stock video in there. And you can change the stock video if you'd like, right? Or you can just leave it be, right? Whatever it chooses. And then you can preview it. You can add GIFs, whatever you want, captions, and then you can export it in different formats for use. So that's another really great tool that I love for everything from Amazon videos to, social media, video content to, putting my blogs on YouTube to get that extra SEO juice, which I know that Norm loves SEO juice. So
now we've actually got a bonus code or a discount code from Vikram over at Pictory. He was on, and man, it's so powerful. It's such a great, even my slides, when I do a presentation, I'll just throw the slides into Pictory and it'll come up. I was doing one for Walmart. It went really well, except they don't have it 100% yet. All my Walmart video turned into Costco. So I couldn't use it, but it's just these small things you have to, but when you get it to repurpose, it's so great. And like he was telling me, for people that produce content, so let's say that you forget a question, type in the question, and then it'll take you and it'll just fill you in. So what I like about what you're talking about with Pictory, or even with content in general, listeners, for like if you're an Amazon seller, Walmart seller, any type of seller, you can start generating content. And it can be really super easy content. You can type it in. You don't have to be the spokesperson. In Pictory, by the way, I think they have, I don't know, they've got a whack of voices that you can use.
AI voices. So I did this with a cat blog that I had about how to care for your, how to clip your cat's nails, I think it was on, which is like a hot topic, right? So I did the research to see which of my blogs would get, as I'm throwing things over here, don't mind me.
I'll do that with my coffee, just a sec.
Just get rid of it. Get him a fresh one, everybody. But so, I lost my track of thought here. But either way, I took this blog, I brought it into Pictory, and, first I did the research on YouTube to see which one would be good, and it automatically applied all of the stock videos, right? And then because I didn't want to read, I didn't want to do a voiceover. It just takes the text at the bottom and you can just apply an AI voice, and you can listen to the different AI voices, and they're actually like some of them are actually really good. Yeah. So if it's just, you're just trying to provide an educational video, in this case, it was, how to clip your cat's nails, or, how to introduce a new cat to the family. It's something that people would enjoy watching. Plus, they'd rather watch a stock video of somebody petting a cat during that, during the reading of the education than watch me talking, Right. So I think it's a really great way to provide content. But at the same time, I think that the future, because of AI and because so much content is going to be able to be created so quickly, I think that the future growth belongs to people that establish that personal connection and put themselves out there, like Kelsey was talking about on Monday with his TikTok growth, right? Like actually putting yourself out there and connecting with people. That's going to go a long way. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't use AI to create great content and, you know, increase your traffic, but for long-term growth, you should have a face, because a face is going to matter eventually, because so much content is just going to get pushed out, you know, now that you can automate it completely with Zapier and the different APIs. You know? Yeah, it's just.
What do you think about this, Amy? So I've been approached so many times. We have filters now that just take anything, what I think is AI, and it goes to trash. I don't even look at it, you know, if it's generic AI. So if there's no thought, if somebody hasn't customized the prompt and they've just done something like with a simple prompt, and you know, what are some of them?
Unleash, unlock.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like
we'll
I
delve anything.
I'm like, stop saying unleash and unlock. That's lame. Like,
and yeah, and you can put that into a custom command, you know, and just have it saved there. Don't use delve.
Yeah.
Or I got you. As soon as I see I got you, those they're gone. But you know, but there's certain things. But here's what I'm thinking is that, and you probably could do this, but because things are getting, I'd call it perfection, right? You can have a casual tone. You can have whatever tone, any tone that you want. You can have it act as anything. But where I think things are going to happen is when people see the human element and they mess up. So when you reading a blog and there is that human element, which is messing up, it could be spacing, it could be something, because everybody's going to be used to watching something perfect. The pattern interrupt, I think, in marketing is going to be that human element that you're just talking about, where it's a real human rather than AI. Yeah. And that could be the first paragraph where it might, or it could be an image that is not going to be like, can't hear you. Let me try putting these in. There. Now, what I have to do, I do a system here. I flip the beard over so you can't see my headphones. And there you go.
Oh,
now I can hear you.
Uses for the beard.
There are uses for the beard.
I like it. I like it. You could even, you know, braid the cord into the beard and go for a new look.
Isabella Ritz. Every time I see Isabella, she's braiding my beard. So
I started that trend in Australia, remember?
You did. Actually, you did. So,
I did.
But what are your thoughts on that? Because everybody, for the most part, sees ChatGPT as a quick way to just get off just to do content. I'm finding like to get that prompt like you were talking about, it takes a hell of a lot of time. I can save it and I can refer back to that prompt. But once I have it, it takes time. But that human element is still big time.
So I completely agree. And if I'm going to use a generic ChatGPT output that hasn't been, you know, that isn't in from one of my conversations, and I'll give a tip on this. But if I'm going to do that, I'll often just say, you know, like the other day, Nate Ginsburg was talking about how he's launching a new podcast or relaunching one of his old podcasts, something like that. And he was saying, you know, which names should I do? And I didn't really like any of the names. And so I fed his post into ChatGPT and I said, I don't like any of these names. It doesn't make me want to tune in, you know, like, write me some names based on this post that would be actually like would get the user interested to check out that podcast, right? That would be right in the title, short, sweet, whatever. And it put out, you know, a really great, you know, so this was more of a custom prompt, right? Because I was feeding in his post and I love to do that.
Yeah.
And I also love to do that with books. So like I had another lady, that she was asking about, she was having troubles with her teenage daughter. And I've read this book called Untangled, and it's such a good book for relationships between moms and teenagers, and especially teenage girls, right? And so I asked ChatGPT, I fed in her post and I said, are you familiar with the book Untangled? And ChatGPT said, yes, it's a book about blah, 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 right? And I said, okay, help me respond to her post based on advice from this book, some things that she can do. And so it wrote me this custom response based on that. But what I like to do when I'm utilizing AI for this is I like to say, so when I commented on Nate's post, I said, I didn't really like any of these options, and I really want to support. So I put it into AI, and here's what it came up with. And then I gave it, the blurb, because I feel like you should just be upfront, like if you're not going to add that additional human touch and you're just going to grab it right out of ChatGPT, then you should say that, you should say, this is, I was curious about this. I asked for help with this from AI. I feel like that's a little bit better than just like blindly doing it, but overall, I agree with you, Norm. I think the human element is really good. And then, you can also use AI to really supercharge your responses.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. But like, I'm just talking about in the future when so many people are going to be on it that you're going to be able to tell, like, it's going to be, I don't want to say perfection, but it's going to, there's not going to be any errors. Like I look at blogs and I go, oh yeah, they messed up here. Okay. Oh yeah, there's extra spacing there. Why didn't they have somebody edit it? And I think those are the things that, matter of fact, you know what? I should experiment and create a prompt where it doesn't work perfectly. Like in imperfection, make small imperfections that won't wreck up my SEO.
Yeah.
And see what it says. It could be a small spelling mistake. It could be
people. I've definitely seen people do that before.
In AI.
Yeah.
You mean it's not original? Oh,
I'm sorry, Norm.
I thought I had an epiphany.
I see this question from Simon about, is there an AI tool that would scrape our Amazon reviews so we could use them on our Shopify site? And I am thinking about, there's many cases when we're all looking for AI tools, but there's actually Shopify plugins that automatically bring in your Amazon reviews. And show that they're verified and all of that. So sometimes an AI tool isn't the best answer. Sometimes a regular tool is the best answer. And, like Norm, what you were saying about, imperfections, and you're thinking like, why isn't somebody just editing this blog, and you could use AI for that. But also there's great tools that already exist, like Grammarly, which will, catch those little things. Yeah. And, and even like Pictory, when it comes to videos, it removes the ums and the ahs automatically for you, the short silences. You just click a little toggle and it does it for you like that. So I think that it's important to have a balance and not necessarily try to find an AI answer for everything, because some of the regular tools do it just as well. Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, no, they're already made. And even people are using come on, Norm. Kels, what's the name of the company? We got Jasper, but what's the other company that came on? And they're Phrase. Like, they're all tied in to ChatGPT. But the reason why, especially with Jasper, you get such a great answer is because of their prompting. But it is already, that is AI generated. And then when you go to Phrase, this is what I like about Phrase, is that it mind maps. So it'll go out there. It's like Answer the Public. If you type in your keyword, it'll come back with the top results of the question. So you get the same mind map as you would in Answer the Public. But when you click on it, it goes to the #1 rated blog article for that keyword with all those different questions. And then you ask it to summarize or create a blog article to beat it. But for me, what we found, and I know Hayden, my other son, he does a lot of content writing for us as well, but he still has to jump in there because the summarizing is a good research tool, and that's it. It's a good research tool.
Yeah.
But these are all tied in. These are APIs that go back to some language model, large language model, LLMs. And but so keep that in mind, if you're looking, if there's an API, a lot of the times you don't even know that there's an API.
So can I ask you a tough question about your opinion?
God. Is it about the beard?
It's not related to the beard.
Okay.
But let's bring it back to Q4 and talk about PPC, right? And Ritu Java has been like the queen of teaching us how to optimize our PPC with AI. And talking about Q4, PPC during Q4, we gotta prepare. If we're going to look at our listings and we're going to see, what are our seasonal things, all of that, right? And we are going to start ranking for some of those gifting keywords, stuff like that. Like time to start meow, like right after this Q4 Mastery Summit, you guys are going to come, you're going to learn how to do all this stuff. And even we've got people coming to teach you how to optimize your listing for Google to get extra traffic. We're talking about tons of like external traffic. So there's so many great things that you can learn for just organic things that I promise you haven't heard before. Because I'm learning them for the first time and I'm like at all these events, right? So the important thing is that you're utilizing these tools to make your life easier, right? So my question for you, Norm, and Kevin King and I were talking about this the other day, is what do you think is going to happen when everybody's using AI to optimize their PPC and the AI tools, and even Amazon's already integrating AI into Seller Central. What do we think is going to happen? We already saw what happened to all the copywriting agencies. Like they're struggling hard, right? My copywriting orders have just gone, so now when I have people booking calls with me, it's to discuss AI and can you train my team how to use AI, and can you help me with this listing, and we'll write it in 5 minutes with AI, but now my consulting has changed and people aren't ordering listings anymore because they're doing that themselves, or they're coming to me for help with that. But I think that, and Kevin was talking about how he predicted too, that some of these agencies that are not using AI to optimize PPC and to reduce their costs, reduce their manpower, all of that, that they will end up either being replaced by a tool that does it better, because now our tools can think and make better recommendations and decisions than they used to be able to, right? I don't know. What do you think about that? Do you think that PPC is first copywriting went, and there's still a place for copywriting agencies. I still do copywriting work for like people who need funnels built and who want new language for like their websites and stuff like that. I use AI to help me, but I also have that background and that knowledge of what works for different industries. But what do you think? Who do you think they're coming for? How do you think AI is coming for next in the e-commerce industry? Do you think it could be PPC?
Well, I think history is going to repeat itself. So if you go back and you look, there's so many examples, but this is one that comes to mind, is that when the car came into effect, right? The motorized vehicle, there was a lot of carriage, like wooden carriage companies that said it could never replace it. And guys like Chrysler or Pontiac, I forget which one it was, they were in that business. And they were the first to cross over the line to get into this. And they went ahead, and 9 out of 10 of the carriage companies went dead unless they adopted, and I think that's going to happen here too. If you're not on it and you don't even have the buzzword AI in your, your company's description, people are going to just look you over because you're not going to be as good as. Yeah. So I think PPC is going to definitely be targeted. And I I guess it's whose prompting or whose business model is better when it gets down to it. So it's really interesting to see right now the PPC models that are coming out. We're using a few different ones, and they are acting differently.
Yeah.
But they're coming off the same language model, right?
Yeah.
So it's just who's the engineer behind it that's doing all the prompting.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's
And
going
I
to
think
be
that
interesting.
that's also going to evolve over time. But
yes,
it's
yeah.
really interesting. I mean, I think, like you said, every company is going to have to pivot in some way. And that's why when I just got done speaking on AI at Alibaba's Co-Create conference this last week, I had so many, even big companies coming up to me going, can you train my team? Can we work with you? Like, how do we get, because they've realized the gravity of not utilizing AI for automation, product development. We talked about, even Brian Williams was talking about how he's completely automated the print on demand process, where he's having prompts that are creating new images and they're automatically being uploaded to his Shopify store, create the t-shirts and the pod stuff, and it automatically uploads the new products to his Shopify store. So he's completely automated the process of not only creating designs in different niches,
Yep.
but actually adding those to t-shirts and stuff and uploading to his Shopify store. So when we think about what's going to happen in e-commerce, when we think about what is going to happen with search, we see Google always leads the way. The way I learned Amazon's A9 algorithm was by reverse engineering Google's, because there wasn't a lot of information about A9, but Google publishes all of their information. And so I used that to test out all of those theories because I was writing listings, right? So I was able to see like what's ranking me, what's not, what's getting me to Amazon choice badges, what's not, right? And that was, really my fascination and obsession for a while. And now my new obsession is learning, okay, watching the changes, seeing what's going on in search. And Google's leading the way by completely changing their search up. Now, search isn't just text anymore. Search is now images. Search is now videos. We see all these people building chatbots for their website that actually pull videos. Paul Barron has one where it pulls every video that he's ever done and shows that exact clip of what he said in answer to a specific question, right? That you ask his bot. And these bots are easy to build, right? So these kinds of things, this is what your competitors are doing. And, and it's important to know what's available and and stay on top of it. That's why we did our first AI Business Summit, and we'll do another one, a follow-up, to really just keep people on top of this. But we've got to pay attention. We have to know what's available. And I think all of us, whether we have product-based businesses, service-based businesses, or like Norm and I, a little bit of both, we need to make sure that we're looking at how can we utilize AI across those businesses, and how can we be the example instead of being essentially left behind.
Right. Okay. Just looking at the time. Kels, let's have a couple of questions. I don't know if we can get to all four.
Okay. First one is from Tony. A local supplier sent me his price list and catalog. Could I, for example, put this into ChatGPT to sort the hundreds of items to get the ones with the most potential?
I don't know what he means by ChatGPT.
I don't either. Is that an app, Tony?
Yeah, Tony, if you could clarify, that would be great.
Let's mark that down to take a look at if it is.
All right. I don't know if we'll have enough time for this question either, but from AMZ Elite, Amy, there's a conversation on the BDSS WhatsApp about TikTok. Are you able to quickly run through shop ads, influencers? How is it all connected? What can be done on a post or influencer posts? Or is there somewhere you can maybe direct them to?
I think that I'm currently onboarding as a TikTok partner. So I will be giving you guys a ton of information about that. What you should know, I'll just give a quick tip about TikTok Shop. And then let's do another episode where we just cover TikTok in depth. And I know Kelsey is my hero. He's got tons of stuff to say about that. But the one tip that I will give you is know that for TikTok Shop, you do not have to be the one selling your products. You can actually set up a TikTok Shop and make it available to all of the influencers who are on TikTok who can then sell your products for you. You can also set up like approvals and stuff that you only want certain influencers in certain areas or, niches. But that is something that's really cool that's going on with TikTok Shop. Now, in terms of just still sharing exactly what Kelsey's doing with Lunch with Norm deals, right? LWN deals. He's just sharing Amazon affiliate links, and you can still do that, right? You can still share links. So there's a difference between TikTok Shop, where it's right inside of TikTok and you actually scroll up, you add to cart, you check out online right there. And that can be sold by you, or it can be sold by an influencer that adds your product to their shop. Or you can continue just posting links to, Amazon listings, stuff like that. So that's my tip for you. And hopefully we can do another episode where it's all TikTok all the time, because there's lots of great stuff.
There we go.
All right. From Neil, how can I use AI to come up with innovative differentiations for existing products? Would Bard be better because ChatGPT uses older information?
I love this. So wish I was Mark Cuban. I love this. I wish I was Mark Cuban some days too. He's one of my favorites because he said if he lost all of his billions, he might not be able to get it all back, but he said he could get a job in sales and he could at least earn $1 million back. So that's the importance of learning how to sell. But speaking of that, I kind of gave this example earlier today of how, I talked about how maybe you're in a price war, your competitors are, really coming in on you. And I gave the example of how you could upgrade your packaging, or how you could, like I gave the clutch purse example. I'm doing that constantly. So what I'll tell you is that ChatGPT goes in and out of reading links. And when it comes to innovation, ChatGPT for me, and for product innovation, has actually been more innovative and descriptive and accurate. Right now, Bard, what's great about Bard is that, yes, it's currently updated with the web, but sometimes if it's not coded in a way where you can really continue the conversation and get in depth, it may not be as helpful for you. So what I would do if I were you, Mark Cuban, is I would put both of them to the test. So I often bring up both. I'll bring up Bing, Bard, and ChatGPT, and I'll throw the same prompts into them and see like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, what did that come up with, right? And then let's say Bard comes up with something cool. Then I can kind of feed that back into ChatGPT and say, okay, well, what about this? Could you expand on this? And then don't forget, Mark, that you can also utilize the plugins. So ChatGPT does have plugins like link readers, PDF readers, all that kind of stuff. You can add a file. There's all sorts of stuff that you can do to make ChatGPT accurate up to today, right? Up until now. So that's something else to think about. Norm, you got anything to add there?
No, I think that's good. You've covered it all.
Okay.
All right, Kels, let's get to the last question. And
Okay, from Chuck. What is the new name for code interpreter in ChatGPT? Seems it doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, no, code interpreters change. So you go settings, you go to beta features, and it is advanced. Just a sec here. Stupid.
Let me see.
Advanced data analyst. And that's code interpreter.
There we go.
Does that make sense? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that. I don't usually have these earphones, and I keep hitting the wire.
And another thing about TikTok and the Q4 Mastery Summit, we actually have Norm and Kelsey coming and talking about how to work with influencers and that kind of stuff. And we also have Gracie Ryback coming to talk about TikTok shop and TikTok growth. So you can definitely take advantage of that as well and learn that stuff during the Q4 Mastery Summit.
Very good. Okay, I think that's it for now. You got about 30 seconds to add hashtag Wheel of Kelsey or tag 2 people to enter for the prize today. And Amy, once again, what is the prize?
So we are giving away one all access pass to the Q4 Mastery Summit. And we're going to give away a few live access passes to the Q4 Mastery Summit.
All right, very good. Okay. I guess the last thing is, how do people get a hold of you?
Oh, well, you guys can always find me at amazingathome.com, or you can follow my alias Amazing at Home across all the Facebooks, the Instagrams, the TikToks, the YouTubes, all the LinkedIns, the places. So the easiest way to find me is by my alias Amazing at Home, or visit me at amazingathome.com. If you want me to look at your listing for free, I love looking at listings. I'm a nerd about this stuff. So, if you just want my opinion on something, I have a little listing form. You can just go to amazingathome.com and click on services. And underneath there, you'll see free listing review. And you can click there, just fill out a quick form, and I'll send you a confidential video of me going through your listing and, having fun. So, and just giving you some tips. Maybe you're doing everything right, and I'm just going to completely praise you. But either way, hopefully it helps you.
Okay. And I do see, just quickly with Chuck, you have to have GPT Plus. If you don't, then you're not going to see this. These are beta features, by the way. So just, if you open it up, left-hand side, go to your account. So it'll be your email address. And when that opens up, you're going to see settings. Click settings. And then you're going to see three tabs on the left. It'll be general beta features and data controls. Under beta features, you should see plugins. You can turn that on, but you should also see advanced data analysis. And that should be there. If it's not, it'll be there shortly. Okay, so Kelsey, let's go to a sponsor.
This episode of Lunch with Norm is sponsored by Rebate. Attention sellers and brand owners, want to reach more shoppers and boost sales? Rebate's platform connects sellers with shoppers seeking great deals on new products. They make it easy to offer promotions, handle rebates, and ensure seamless redemptions. With countless reviews from satisfied customers, Rebate is the go-to solution to increase your sales. Visit rebate.com today and start reaching more shoppers. Now let's get back to the show.
Right. Are we ready? It's the Wheel of Kelsey.
All right, here's the Wheel of Kelsey.
It's time for the Wheel of Kelsey.
Okay, lots of entries today. Anytime, Kelsey. You could just tune in anytime.
And let's see who today's winner is.
It looks like Stan.
Stan is the winner of the full access.
Congrats.
And then we're just going to spin quickly twice for the others.
Do it 3 times.
Three times.
Okay.
All right. So this is for the live access. We've got Hypology.
Okay.
For one.
That was pretty close.
That was, yeah. Sorry, Redbeard. Oh, we got Stan again.
Okay, we'll forget that.
All right, so we got 2 more to spin. next one is
Tom.
AMZ Elite. Okay, and final one. Let's see who the winner is. It is
Amar.
More.
There we go.
all right. Congratulations. So if you are the winner, please email me k@lunchwithnorm.com. Again, Stan was the big winner with the full access, and Hypology, AMZ Elite, and Amar were the live access winners.
Oh, I just saw Redbeard asking about the RSVP link for the 500th episode, which we'll talk about in a second. But Amy, thank you so much for coming on. We will definitely be coming on and talking about TikTok Shop once that's all set up. And yeah, hopefully we'll see you on the 500th episode.
Yes, and Norm, thank you for having me. Thanks everybody for being so engaging today. And don't forget that Norm and Kelsey have a coupon code for you to get 50% off the Q4 Mastery Summit. So you can use code NORMQ4 or code KelseyQ4 at amazingathome.com/Q4 to get 50% off either ticket. So
there we go.
Either way, everybody's a winner, right?
Oh, that's awesome. All right, Amy. Thanks a
All
lot.
right.
It was great talking with you.
Want more great information? Don't forget to subscribe by clicking here. Also, if you want to check out our latest podcast, click over here.
Lunch with